Hey guys, Dennis here with Revog Games, and I'm joined by
Joshua Weyers, all the way in South Africa.
and this is our weekly video games podcast, the Revog Games podcast. We're here to talk about the latest news and releases and all that good stuff in the video games. So it's been about a week and a half since we posted our last podcast. So there's been a good amount of news. Nothing too big though. I would say a lot of the Sony kind of reveals. I think it was from some sort of investor type meeting, and then also Star Wars Celebration just happened recently, and then obviously that was like mainly talking about the movies and the TV shows. You know, Obi-Wan Kenobi just came out recently, but we did get some video game news, and we can start off with that, which is the Star Wars Fallen Order sequel was released, and all those leaks were true. That one, it's called Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and two, that it is next gen only. And they released a official teaser trailer, which I thought was pretty cool. What were your thoughts on the announcement and the actual trailer?
Stoked, just because, well, I just need to know more about like what's gonna happen. They left it on quite the cliffhanger. I'm excited. Here's the thing: it's canon, so that's the thing I'm most excited about. Is they've said before that Cal Kestis, his story is canon. So everything that happens is canon. I'm excited about that. So what are they gonna do? It looks like from the trailer we saw, it looked like was there like another Jedi frozen in time, or like is he? You know what I mean? Getting resuscitated.
Well, yeah, the back tank reminded people, and obviously it's not him, but it reminded us of Luke in Empire Strikes Back and the back tank there on Hoth. But obviously this is not Hoth, and it's not Luke Skywalker. It's like who is that? That's the big mystery.
Exactly. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Also, man, look, it's a good game. Like the graphics are amazing. The gameplay was really good. It was a very light Souls-like game, but
Yes.
but still Souls-like inspired nonetheless. Yeah, I'm excited for the game. I just wish there was like just a little bit more of anything. Like not even like I'm not even mad that I didn't see gameplay, because you never see gameplay first. You always see some CGI cutscene or some like teaser. That's just the way it works. We never get gameplay right away. So I can't complain about that. But I just wanted a little bit more, man. Like, just like 30 seconds more of something. I don't know. Not disappointed at all. Very happy. Looking forward to it. I don't see them messing it up, because the previous game it worked really well. It was good.
Kind of got Star Wars back into the groove, because after a lot of people were kind of either ho-hum or crapping on, the other EA Star Wars games recently, and it's been a while. That was like the first one that was kind of more universally liked.
Story based. It was also like the closest. Well, it had RPG like mechanics, and it was the closest thing to like a Star Wars RPG we've had since Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, and a lot of EA got a lot of flack for both Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, and
of the
so
microtransactions.
Yeah, and so this this kind of obviously with Respawn working on it and their help, it definitely kind of righted the ship, at least for now. And
it's a good recipe as well. You know what I mean? Like the genre meets the IP quite well. Like Star Wars, Souls-like type of game. Well, because it just makes sense with the lightsaber as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was like Souls meets Uncharted, right? Because there was a lot of like platforming stuff and puzzle stuff as well. That's actually a very good way
of putting it. Yeah.
Souls Light meets Uncharted. So yeah, teaser looked great. Obviously, no game. I mean, the thing about a sequel though is you already know what the general gist of what the gameplay is gonna. Maybe not the high-end graphics, because it is on a different platform, but in terms of how it's gonna look in terms of gameplay wise.
Yeah, I will say though, like moving forward, and I suppose I could phrase this as a question as well, which is like, is there any kind of changes you are expecting or hoping that they make? For me, right off the bat, I hope that the skill tree is larger or more diverse. because it was pretty small in the previous game. It worked. It was fantastic. But towards the end of the game, I couldn't help but feel like a slight hollow feeling when I finished the skill tree, and I was like, "Oh, there's not more moves I can learn," you know? I
Well,
was
it's
a bit
also
disappointed by that.
it's interesting because versus a Souls-like game is that the move set, because there's only so much you can do with the lightsaber in terms of visuals, right? You can change the hilt and whatever, but even when you do that, it's so small, right? You know, you could get the double bladed, you could get whatever, but the variety of sabers you can get is not that much. Where the Souls type games is like you can do all these different weapons, right? And obviously different spells as well.
I was gonna
And
say you've got the Jedi powers though, you know, the
yeah,
Jedi
yeah, I think
powers.
that's kind of where the variety sets in. So,
Yeah.
but in Souls, it's like, oh, it's kind of within the weapon, right? Like, okay, you have this weapon can do this skill set, you know, you can do these
Yeah.
moves.
I mean,
Where,
yeah, it's more Souls like in the sense of the whole dodge rolling,
yeah,
parrying,
yeah,
counter kind of timing. The mechanics are very Souls like.
yeah, but yeah, I'm excited, and then the next gen stuff. I think we'll be able to see kind of how
I mean, it
much of
makes
it,
sense.
how much difference it's gonna make once we see the gameplay, because
We also
with
don't know the release date, you know? If the release date's only like 2 years from now, then having it only next gen makes sense. You know, by then everyone should, in theory, have caught up, you know?
yeah, it's just 2023, so
Wait, seriously? That's pretty cool, actually. That's optimistic.
that's what it says, coming 2023. So maybe end of 2023. Who knows? We might see a delay.
Nice. Oh, I
So
don't think we have it on the list, but I'll mention it now. There was a leak. I forgot. It was in what? It was in some other country. They had the rating for Ragnarok, and it's listed as 2022. So it's definitely like 100% now. Definitely confirmed. Ragnarok is still coming out this year. God
yeah,
of War Ragnarok.
yeah. All right. Let's move on. So this is kind of a lot of big news coming out for Sony in the investor briefing. Yeah, that was on May 26th. They talked about a lot of different stuff. The biggest stuff, at least to me, was that they announced that there was going to be a Horizon series for Netflix.
Mm.
We already knew about the God of War series for Amazon, and then a Gran Turismo show. We already know
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima is being made into a movie with the John Wick director. Uncharted, we just saw the movie. We know The Last of Us. So Sony's really getting their IP into, which makes sense, right? Because Sony is, before they were actually into video games, they were into movies and television. So making that, it's not, I don't know, I guess it's a transition, but since they already are part of that world, but I guess for these properties, making that transition is not too surprising. But it seems like we're getting more and more of that.
Well, maybe this will be their like leg up over Microsoft. You know,
Mhm.
like there. I mean, there was the Halo show, the TV show,
Yeah.
which you said. I think you said it got a bit better towards the end. You didn't
Well,
get
it
any.
had its worst episode. It had its worst episode, second to last, and then it had its
Oh
best
damn.
episode in the finale. But that doesn't mean that it's. I have mixed feelings about the show. Ultimately, I had a good friend of mine who, we talk about movies and video games all the time, but he's kind of he kind of picks and chooses. Like me, I'll kind of delve into some stuff that's like, okay, of not great quality, where maybe it's just okay, but I still watch it anyways. He kind of only wants to watch or play games that are like, okay, these are like
Best.
high level best or whatever.
Yeah.
So when he asked me about Halo, I straight up told him, he's like, should I watch it? And I said, no. Like there's certain things I
Yeah.
tell him, no, you should, like this game, you should play. I told him to play Elden Ring, like I said, you should play it.
I mean, that's as a gamer, that's something that everyone should experience. Same
Yeah.
as like Skyrim or any other great game like that. I will say, the thing I'm most surprised by is the Gran Turismo series.
Yeah.
Specifically because I believe they said that they are gunning for Neil Blomkamp. Like they want the guy that did District 9.
It's a weird match. When you want him for like,
He's well known for CGI, so maybe they just know that they're gonna be doing like all the races in CGI, and they want him to look super real. I don't know, But like that's what he's known for. He's known for really, really good CGI and making
Yeah,
it
but
work
for
in a natural
sci-fi
setting.
purposes, though. So, like, I
Exactly.
would think, like, Destiny.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's
Right?
weird that like yeah, it's weird that the Gran Turismo is like, yeah, we want to do a show, but we want him. It's
Yeah.
just
Because
it's interesting.
Gran Turismo is going to be, I'm guessing, going to be more like a Fast and the Furious type of thing.
Oh
Maybe,
yeah.
maybe more serious than Fast and the Furious. But, I thought if they were going to get him for something, they'd be like, oh, Destiny or something. You know what I mean? That just seems
I mean, that's
more
he would
his
love
style.
to do that. Yeah.
And we know,
I
like,
don't like. Yeah, I don't think he'd be on board to do a Gran Turismo thing. I mean, maybe. Who knows?
and we've always speculated, and other people have speculated that, hey, maybe, the reason Bungie went with Sony is that the promise of taking Destiny, whether to television or movies, will be a good thing for them, or a faster track thing. So,
Hmm.
all right.
I think I think the God of War show for Amazon is going to be good. Like, I just have a good feeling about that. Also, there's so many. The issue is their budget though as well. Because here's the thing: there's a line there. I know that there's a lot of like big time actors that would love to do God of War, that could pull off God of War. The issue is, can Amazon afford them to do it? Also, and would they do a TV show? You know what I mean? Like, I think of The Witcher, and the only reason The Witcher happened was because Henry Cavill wanted to do it. You know what I mean? Like, it's the only reason you would move from doing Hollywood movies to a TV show. You know what I mean? That probably pays significantly less. Still a lot of money, but less than what you would be getting paid for the movies. So for any like big actor to jump down to the to TV, must be paid quite a lot. But yeah, I think God of War will do good. I am concerned about Horizon because that is like a lot more CGI heavy.
Yeah, it's a whole world. I mean, think of like Avatar, right? Like an
Yeah.
Avatar type of world where you can't be easily created practically. So
Yeah, like God of War, you can get away with because it's more fantasy orientated. Still a lot of CGI, but it's a more darker tone, and you can hide a lot more with darkness and shadows and stuff. Horizon's like quite like beautiful and bright and CGI heavy. But I think that I think that they'll actually have a really big issue with casting. I think that's gonna be down to like, no, I don't think it doesn't matter who they cast as Aloy. I think people are gonna be upset. I'm calling it now. Like, there's gonna be like outrage. People are gonna be like, this
People
is
get-
not.
people get upset at everything.
But yeah, I was mark my words, Dennis. That people are gonna get upset over the casting. Whoever it is, the poor girl, she's gonna get flamed online.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So more things that were revealed during that time, which is that well, actually, this was something I don't know. No, it wasn't revealed during that, but apparently, Returnal was spotted in the Steam database.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited about, man.
I'm excited because I don't have a PS5 yet, and
Same.
this is one of the games that I was interested in playing. It's obviously a PlayStation exclusive, so the fact that they're gonna have, it looks like, it's not confirmed, but from the looks of it, it looks like it's going to come out on Steam and PC, and we're gonna be able to play it if before. Not too long, I'm guessing. It doesn't say when.
I am excited, man. I've been craving a good roguelike game. It's my favorite genre. There's just a certain itch I get sometimes, and roguelites are like the only thing that scratch that itch. So I'm
Yeah.
excited to play it for sure. And even if it is like, I think you'll enjoy it too, even if it is a bit more of a hardcore game. I think ever since you've played Elden Ring, that's opened up a whole new realm of like hardcore games that you might actually be interested in into playing. But yeah.
And this ties into another thing that this part was revealed at the investor meeting, which is that Sony made 300 million, or no, they expect to make 300 million off of PC games this year. Last year, which actually they said the fiscal year actually ended on March 31st. That's why God of War is in that. So God of War, Days Gone, and Horizon Zero Dawn made about $80 million. So they're expecting at the end of this year making 300 million on the PC side of things, which is good. And like I said, this is where they should go. They should copy the Microsoft model and do same day releases on PC for their IP, their exclusive IP. Because I don't feel like you're losing money in that way. You know what I mean? Who cares if it's whether on a PlayStation or on a PC if you're still getting that money, right? You know?
Yeah. This leads me to believe, though, that maybe more than just Returnal is coming to PC before the end of the year. Because 300 million is a lot to speculate. I mean, I know there's a lot. I know there's a lot of PC sales. I understand that too, but I think maybe we're gonna get more than Returnal before the end of the year on PC. I could be wrong though.
They also are saying that a big part of this might be with their acquisition of Bungie as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Because Bungie brings in a lot of money as well on the PC side of things. So. Which sucks though, because there was a rumor and it got debunked because someone had put out a tweet, and I someone else that I follow on Twitter had posted, and I thought it was real. But that whole Bloodborne, did you see the whole Bloodborne PC rumor, or did you miss that?
No, I think I missed that. Yeah.
On Twitter there was someone had posted out, like Bloodborne coming out on PC or whatever, and like but actually it's hasn't been confirmed. So at first I got mad, a little upset because I had just bought Bloodborne. I mean, it was only $10, but anyways, but I bought it on PlayStation 4 and I plan on playing it sometime in the near future. And I was damn, I should have just waited for the PC version, but apparently that was fake. So
if Bloodborne is, I don't know if it is or was a part of PlayStation Now or PS Plus, whatever tier it is to stream your video games. If Bloodborne's on there, you can technically play Bloodborne on your PC or mobile phone or anything that has an Edge browser.
Yeah. Another thing that was revealed during that call was that Sony plans on putting 50% of its investment into creating brand new IPs. So
okay, that's good.
In 2019,
it's not like they were lacking in IP, but they weren't abundant in it. You know, they weren't overflowing with good IP either. You know.
Well, I mean, they have a lot of well-known IP.
I was gonna say that they have less IP, but like good IP, really good IP.
Yeah. So they said in 2019, 77% of their investment went into current franchises and 23% into new ones. So, Last of Us has already been out, so Last of Us 2 is investment in current franchises. So they want to create brand new stuff. And I think that makes sense because since they don't have the cash to, like Microsoft does, to like acquire studios left and right and buying existing IPs, I'm still not sure why Sony or Microsoft did not buy Square Enix's Western studios, because that was like a steal and easy way to acquire IP for very, very cheap. But since Sony doesn't have that cash reserve, like creating your own is, it's not as quick as picking up another studio, but it's still a good way to get into some new IP that hopefully hits off, because Sony's got a pretty good track record when it comes to new IP.
Oh yeah, isn't Sony acquiring Square Enix?
Well, that's the rumor. That's the
rumor. Yeah.
But nothing's kind of set. That was just a rumor, and also like reports were saying that's why they did the Square Enix deal. Sorry, the ADS and Square Enix. What was it called? Square Enix West or Square Enix Canada?
All their Western IP, Western studios.
Yeah, so 300 million. It's good news. Creating new stuff that hopefully we'll get exclusive.
Great news for PC gamers.
Release. Hopefully, if it, hopefully they go that route. Another thing in that call was they talked about PSVR 2, and that they plan on having 20 major games at launch. Now, a lot of these probably are going to be games that already exist on
rehashed, or
the Quest. Like how can you, I don't, it's not, they're not going to have Beat Saber since Beat Saber is exclusive to the Quest
Yeah.
after Oculus bought the makers. But
They'll
a
have
game like
Super
that,
Hot, for instance, you know.
yeah, games like that, I'm sure will be brought over. But what the real draw of PSVR 2 is these exclusive games like the Horizon Call of the Mountain that they've been touting and they showed some footage of, because that's something that's like, okay, here's one, it's an exclusive. I don't know if I can say it's AAA because I don't know what the scope is of the game, but let's say it's
It most likely will
a
be
double
short.
A.
Yeah. From what it looks like a short experience.
Yeah,
I
but
could be wrong,
even still, like creating at least a excellent short, like even if it's like, let's say 6-7 hours long, but if it's of high quality, you can get people onto those platforms.
Yeah.
I don't think length, as long as it's not like an
Yeah.
hour or something like that.
Well, look, PSVR 2, I think, is actually a very admirable product in the sense of like if you do have a PS5 and you want to have a VR and you want something that can run like it's because here's the thing, it's kind of like in between a Quest 2 and a more high end like in a Valve
PC.
Index, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're not running it off of the headset itself, you're running it off of your PS5.
Yeah.
So it is that like step up where like if you do have a PS5, so already like the market is a bit nicher because you need to own a PS5 in
Yes.
order to use it. But if you already have one, then yeah, you pay the extra money, you get the headset, and you're gonna get, from the looks of things, a pretty good experience, way better than the initial experience on the first PSVR.
Yeah, that was definitely a work in progress, especially those
Yeah.
controllers were terrible
It was
for
more
it.
like it was more like a novelty, but
Yeah.
I'm glad it happened because it was a good way of introducing VR to a lot of people's lives. It didn't do as good of a job as the first Quest, because of its portability, but it still did a pretty good job, I think. At least
Yeah,
introducing VR to
before
people's lives.
before the Quest, it was the first PlayStation that had the highest percentage of VR headset sales overall. But yeah, they did release some, like Among Us is going to be out on there.
I'm actually really looking forward to playing Among Us VR. I don't know if it's out yet. If it is, then I'm gonna. Oh, man, that's what I'm doing this weekend.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
There's the Ghostbusters VR game from End Dreams is going to be on there. So there's going to be a bunch of stuff. So that was another part of their investor call. I think that's it for the Sony news. You have anything else on Sony particularly?
On Sony, no.
Okay. All right.
No, nothing on Sony.
The next thing up we have, and this just came out today, which is Sonic Frontiers had world premiere gameplay footage, and they had about like 7 minutes of footage. I watched it. I think you watched it as well. What was your takeaway?
Here's the thing. First of all, I'm happy that this type of Sonic game is happening. I don't know what engine they're using for it. I just knew, like, one of the first things I thought of when they first showed us the Unreal Engine 5 tech demo, like a long time ago, which spurred into its own game now. Forget what it's called. But yeah, when I saw that, I was like, okay, Sonic or Superman. A Superman game is actually the first thing I thought of, was because you could actually load in so much of a city at a time. So you can be super speed and you can have like your flight and be really fast. I thought about fast, like moving really fast. So I thought of Sonic and I was excited for that. So this type of game was a no-brainer to make now that we had the technology for it. You know what I mean? And it's easier to do. It looks like fun. I will say, oddly enough, I watched the entire thing because it was actually just oddly satisfying to watch. But at no point in time did I go, oh, wow, I feel like we're moving fast. It actually felt more peaceful to me than anything else. But I don't know if it's me, if I'm weird, but I watched that video and I felt relaxed. I was like, this looks like a really relaxing, fun time. You know? It's like playing the Spider-Man game and you put on some really cool music and you swing through New York, except this time it's like chill lo-fi music and you're just like swinging through New York. I don't know if it's a good metaphor to use, but yeah, it did look fun, but it looked very casual, and I think I'm okay with that until I see the price point.
The one thing is, Sonic. I was more of a Sonic person than a Mario person. Like, I remember when Sonic 2 on the Sega Genesis came out at that time. That was like
Best Sonic ever, man.
that was like my favorite game of all time at that point. But I haven't played since, I think, Sonic Adventure 2 on the Dreamcast is probably the last real Sonic game I played.
There have been some stinky Sonics since then, Dennis. There have been some stinky doo-doo Sonics since then.
But now they're kind of riding this positivity of both the Sonic movies, both being successes and being critically and audience approved. So they're kind of riding that momentum to this game into, hopefully maybe they're investing some more money than they usually would to make it good. And I watched it and I liked what I saw, but it looked to me kind of incomplete because I think maybe one of the reasons you felt that it was so kind of relaxing was there was no enemies in there.
Yeah,
There's no enemies.
There was, and then no objective, no like. It kind of felt like a skate park. That's the best way I could. Like that's kind of what I felt. I felt like I was like, oh, this is cool. It made me think of like the games from like the 90s and early 2000s when people were still trying to find their genres and make things work. And you'd have a game like extreme sport games would come out with like no objective whatsoever. It'd be like, here's a skate park, do tricks. That's the whole game. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how I felt watching this. I was like, here's a big open world, run around, jump around, do things.
Yeah,
I think it looks fun, looks casual, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing there and what's the point of it all, you know?
Yeah, I'm hoping there's more clear objective missions. This one seemed more almost like a demo level. I hope that's not a complete level because 1, there's no enemies. 2, I'm hoping for more objectives.
I did like the puzzles.
The puzzles is cool.
Yeah, but all the puzzles that we saw looked like brain dead easy puzzles, which I get. It is like probably like a tutorial stage or something early, but I hope that the puzzles do get a bit more, complicated, or difficult, or just and more engaging as well. Like just because they're engaging, but very like slight, you know.
I also hope
earning a thing.
I also hope they bring in some more open world elements in terms of like upgrading, like using the rings that you're collecting to upgrade your skill set, or you know what I mean, your attacks or your movement. Yeah, that can help you fight enemies and bosses later on.
I don't see that happening though. Like that would be cool, but I don't think they'll do that.
Yeah,
I have a feeling that they will add. They have to have enemies, and it has worked before because like I could tell from some of the mechanics the way that he does his like dash forward thing. That's probably his main attack, like dashing into things or dashing onto enemies. They've had it before in older Sonic games as a mechanic, and that's how you would attack people, like you jump and dash into them.
Yeah.
So they will be like that, but yeah, I don't know. It looks very casual, which, like I said, I like about it. But if it comes out like as a full priced game, and there's not like objectives or there's not like any, I don't know. It seems like it's lacking direction, you know.
I mean,
it looked fun though, but something about it, like I wouldn't say felt off, but something about what we saw made me feel like it was fan made. You know, I know it wasn't, but it looks like something that could have easily been fan made. You know?
So people are saying that it's supposed to be an open world compared to Breath of the Wild. So that's interesting because we didn't see much of. I hope it's like that, where it's like there's like a lot of exploration and whatnot. It's just we were very limited in what we saw. They say it's coming out in 2022. We'll see.
Look, I can see that though, like, because I could see that that's what they were kind of going for. Like, I was expecting a really, really big open world map. Like, I was expecting something Breath of the Wild-ish. But yeah, we didn't see any NPCs. We didn't see any enemies. You know, when you have a big open world like that, you're not doing levels. The thing is, like, when you're not doing levels, you have a big open world. People can explore, so you need to put some life in there. You know, you can't just have green hills for, you know, miles and miles.
Yeah, I'm assuming they're going to bring some of the classic Sonic type areas into this that you can get to as well. Like I said, I just want to see more purpose behind.
Yeah.
Like, for example, you know, obviously this is a much different game, but like in Elden Ring, right, you're going to different areas, one to fight different types of enemies, to collect items that for upgrades, and then different weapons for upgrades and spells, you know what I mean? So I'd like
Yeah.
to see that kind of incentive in Sonic versus just like, oh, I just go to this area and then I just like jump around and collect some rings, you know?
I don't
Like
know.
I just want to see some more
I
purpose to it.
do. Yeah, I do think that that's going to be the game, though. Unfortunately, it's just I got that feel because it is Sonic. Like it's not that I'm expecting too much or too little of the game. It's not going to be like a big AAA game by
Mm-hmm.
any means. I think it's not going to be Elden Ring or anything like that. The tone that it's set with that video, I think, is going to be the tone throughout the game. Even if they add enemies and a really interesting plot line, and
Mm-hmm.
NPCs and other things like that, the tone feels very casual, which I don't hate. Um, but yeah, for me, I think what it's going to come down to is the price of this game and what it's available on.
I think for me, it's going to come down to the reviews. I like that's like I don't mind paying full price if it's worth full price. Um,
Based off of what I saw, and I know this isn't the case, but based off of what I saw, I would pay $20 for that experience, even without the enemies, because for me, it's something that I can like play whenever I want, put some music on, relax, run around a bunch, jump around a bit, and then,
mm-hmm.
call it quits.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, anything more than that, and then I would expect some kind of objective or storyline or something to do other than explore and run around. It did look good though. It did look fun.
All right. On to this next one. So this is, I think, kind of based on rumors and reports. It's during, I guess, a podcast, King Fan Man on YouTube, who apparently is, he kind of covers all Bethesda stuff, so I don't know where his sources are from, but he was saying that according to him, the issues with Starfield, there was a lot of issues in terms of the mechanics.
Yeah.
And that's why it got delayed. They said that the flight controls were very buggy. They weren't smooth and balanced. And, a lot has to do with... Remember, the Creation Engine they had to make the Creation Engine 2. This is like their new game engine that they're using. And remember, they ran that old one into the ground. They used that thing
they did. Yeah, that is my biggest issue right now, is that whatever they're creating this game on, I'm wondering if their engine isn't already outdated,
I don't know. I'm less worried about outdated, but maybe it's just they haven't used it enough to, one, work out all the bugs, and two, get the most out of it, right?
Yeah. I remember was it the first Creation Engine or second one? Which one did they do Fallout 3 on?
I'm pretty sure it was the first Creation Engine.
Yeah. Man, it's funny because they could never get vehicles to work out. So the trains were NPCs. Like, if you took the train model out of the game and just looked at the train model, there were legs underneath the train. They were literally NPCs. So, and that's how they worked out movement in the older engines. I thought that was so funny.
That's why people were like dogging Fallout 76. It's like, dude, look at the best of this gen graphics, and then look at Fallout 76. It's just that engine just needed a update a long, long time ago.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I guess this is part of the reason why they didn't want to change over, though, is because they were so familiar and so fast.
They know how it works and stuff. Yeah.
That now the new one, they're having issues with that. So remember, these all reports or whatever. So
true. Yeah, but it does make sense.
Yeah, it's getting delayed to next year. I mean, like I said,
just the lack of us having seen any we've heard a bunch and we've seen a lot, but not really a lot. Everything we've seen has been like very small little chunks and pieces. And like, even though I have a lot of faith in Bethesda, and Todd Howard, the lack of like videos that have come out has left me a little on the fence and a little worried.
Yeah, well, better that they delay than have another Fallout 76 happen.
Yeah.
Or
Cyberpunk.
I hope,
I don't think this was the case, but I really hope it wasn't a case of Todd Howard going, space Fallout or space Skyrim, and then that being the entire idea, and then them just like really trying it out, and then now being like, okay, crap, we need more, we need direction, you know. I hope that's not the case. I know that they have some direction because we have been having those the videos
Yeah.
where they talk about their the progress and whatnot.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
But I do expect. Remember the Xbox Bethesda showcase is less than 2 weeks away. I think it's June 12th.
Mhm.
So we will be getting more. I expect footage. I expect gameplay footage, even if it's not coming out this year. I expect some gameplay footage.
Here's the thing. I know the story is going to be good. I know the RPG mechanics are going to be amazing in this game. It just is. I think that they have an issue of. I mean, they said it here. It's the mechanics. Like probably not just flight mechanics, but I would imagine they're probably having combat mechanic issues because they have to essentially create new combat mechanics. You know what I mean? Every game every IP they've had, every game they've had has had its very own unique combat mechanics. It's not like they're all similar or anything. You know, Fallout is very different from Skyrim. Same with Diablo or anything else like that. Diablo, Blizzard.
Yeah.
My bad. I don't know where my brain was for a second. Anyways, I digress. But yeah, still sad that the game is delayed. But once again, rather have a polished game than something half-assed.
Yeah. And I've been saying it a lot, and I think I saw Alana Pierce tweet out the same thing about like, thank God there aren't big time releases until the end of the year because that gives more time to catch up. Which what I'm doing right now. I'm playing Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I'm
enjoying it.
Yeah, I am. I'm on chapter 3. Yeah. Chapter 3 right now.
You know what I mean by where it's like a little bit more casual, but not really.
Yeah,
like,
the gameplay itself is not
mashing.
Yeah, the gameplay itself is not anything,
special. It's very average.
It's not deep or anything like that, but it's fun, and more fun is the story and the characters. Yeah. So,
like I said, you can just stand there and they'll just talk and riff and make jokes. It's the best.
Yeah. All right, this next one is interesting. So, I guess 6 months ago they were gonna make they announced that they were gonna make a Marvel MMO. And it was from the co-publishers of DC Universe Online, and apparently it's been canceled. Reevaluation of the development risk profile, size of investment, and long-term product portfolio strategy for the group. So
I feel like that's a fancy way of saying it was not a good idea.
No, because I think it's I think it's a good idea. I think that they saw what happened to Avengers, and then therefore saw what happened
DC
to
Universe Online. Yeah. Like that's also dead.
Well, that's the thing is I think the demands of gamers is pretty high. I'll say this. Gamers are like the most demanding fans of any fan base out there compared to, I know that there's Star Wars fans that are a lot of like whiny, and there's like Marvel and DC fans that are whiny, but gamers are like I'd just say the most whiny bunch out of them all because they just expect constant improvement, constant updates, constant, changes and whatnot and upgrades and all that stuff. So I think they were like, we don't want to deal with that. They saw what happened to Guardians of the Galaxy, which was not even the same. It was the same, company, but not the same developer.
Yeah. Look, all in all, it would have been a bad move. As much as I think, the idea behind it is great. When DC Universe came out, the idea behind that was amazing. There was a lot of hype for DC Universe, and like their first initial cutscene of DC Universe was actually one of the best like DC animated things I've ever seen in my life. And DC animated stuff is amazing usually. It was like very dark, gritty. Like Lex Luthor from the future comes down and he's there to like help humanity because that's how bad things got in the future or whatever. Here's the real deal. Here's what it really comes down to at the end of the day. Not everybody plays MMOs, but the people that do play MMOs, they can only really play one. It takes up so much time as well
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody that play, like I play Final Fantasy 14. It's an online MMO, so there's a monthly subscription fee. That's another reason most people don't play more than one MMO.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's a big time. Like it's a huge amount of time to put into the game. So I think that that's another thing that they realize is that right now the market is cornered between Warcraft and Final Fantasy 14 Online.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, New World came out and they did quite well for a bit, but they've fallen off. It's still active, but like not it's not nearly as big as Final Fantasy or Warcraft, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there were a lot of reasons behind him not doing it, even though I think they could have done a really good job with it. I just think that it would have been like the pond is quite small, if I can put it that way. Like it's a small pond and there's a lot of big fish in it already is the issue, you know?
Yeah, and also looking at what happened to Avengers,
Yeah, left a
Guardians of the
bad taste in
Galaxy.
people's mouth.
They realized, even if you have, let's just be blunt. Marvel has the biggest IP in the world right now. It just is.
Yeah.
It's
true.
out of like anything.
If you can slap an official Marvel sticker on something, it'll sell, you know.
Yeah.
So I get that it has selling power, you know. It has brand power.
But they realize but for gaming, it's the demands are very high, and so you can't just do that. You've got to, and I guess they looked at.
Well, I mean, if anything, we've known in the past couple of weeks, it's that big brands don't they can work in gaming, but at the end of the day, the gaming is more important than the bigger brands. Look at FIFA, dude. FIFA's pulling out of EA. EA is still going to make soccer games. They're still they're still going to be making their FIFA game. It's just not going to have FIFA on the cover, and people are still the gamers are still going to play that game. They're not going to play the new FIFA game because that's not the game they've been playing for the past 20 years. You know?
Yeah. All right, let's move on. This one is important, kind of behind the scenes, which is Raven Software. The QA workers officially vote to unionize. Raven Software, who worked underneath Activision Blizzard, they decide it's like the first union at a AAA gaming company.
Yeah.
So,
who's the Microsoft guy again? What's his name?
Phil Spencer?
Phil Spencer, yeah. Phil Spencer said that once the full deal goes through, the full acquisition, he plans to obviously respect their union and take it into consideration and all that. Yeah. So he recognizes their union already.
Yeah, I'm just kind of hoping
which is good, you know.
Yeah, I'm just hoping this kind of becomes more widespread across the industry, so that people
I know I shouldn't be patting Phil Spencer on the back for saying that because it just should be a given. But it's still pretty cool to see like a big CEO like that in support of unionization.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's like in support. More of like, we're not going to get in the way.
He's not going to fight it. Yeah, he's not exactly going to go and fight it. You know.
Because with unions will come more leverage and power towards the employees, where they can demand better hours. Less crunch time. Better pay, better benefits, and all that good stuff. Because the gaming industry is notorious for, especially when it comes to the lower levels, like the QA testers or low-level developers, just like taking advantage of their time and not being compensated fairly. So good to see it. Hope it continues on towards other companies and studios.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. This one you had mentioned, which is Xbox Game Pass and the games for June 2022. Did you want to talk about that?
Not really. I just think it's worth mentioning that Assassin's Creed Origins, which is the biggest out of all those games, Assassin's Creed Origins is moving over. It's also a surprise for me because it's Ubisoft and there's not like the biggest connection between Ubisoft and Microsoft. But anyway, so that's one thing's for certain, it's going to be limited. I know that. It's not going to be on Game Pass forever. It's one of those deals where I know it'll be limited, maybe like a year or half a year or something. So
that's why I'm playing Guardians. I'm playing Guardians before it leaves.
I was exactly like a lot of the bigger games sometimes, and you know that if they're not affiliated to Microsoft or Xbox, you know you should play it before it's gone or finish it before it's gone.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so definitely that was definitely worth mentioning for sure. I think there was another. Oh yeah, For Honor is coming to Game Pass. Maybe this is a very slim maybe, but maybe it helps the online community for that game
Mm-hmm.
because I know a big issue for older games like that, and it is an old game now. Older games usually have an issue having their servers filled up,
Mm-hmm.
with horrible like queue times, horrible wait times.
Yeah, so those are some of the games coming out. This one I thought was funny. I don't know if you delved into this, but I thought it was funny. So it's kind of old news now, but on May 23rd, Kotaku
Oh, cool.
had posted an article and they tweeted it out, which was said, after years of hype, the Xbox Game Pass burnout is here. Which Xbox Game Pass replied to, tell me you limit yourself to only AAA games without telling me you limit yourself to only AAA games. And damn, Kotaku got ratioed bad on it. So the initial tweet that Kotaku put out got 4,500 likes, and the Xbox Game Pass retort had 62,000 likes.
Do you know
So,
what that's called, Dennis, in Twitter?
What? Getting
It's
ratioed? Yeah.
Yeah, you got ratioed hard, man.
Yeah.
That was so brutal. Also, it's one of those things where like a lot of people still take Otaku seriously, but most people don't. Like anybody who's a gamer, they don't really like. Every time I see Kotaku post an article or share it on Facebook or Twitter or anything, the comment section is always just like ripping, like the writer being like, that's such bad opinions. Look, sometimes they have some good articles, but a lot of the time I read articles on Kotaku and I'm like, where the hell are they getting these like takes from?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this was something that basically, because the whole delay with Starfield and Redfall, there are no exclusive AAA titles, first party ones from Xbox coming on Game Pass. So a lot of people are like pausing or stopping their subscriptions or saying it's not worth it. I saw some complaints from other people as well, that's fine. You can complain about that, or you want to stop your subscription, but like, to someone like me, it's still worth it because it's like I'm playing Guardians right now. I just played this game called Her Story, which is like this.
Yeah, there was Trek to Yomi on there as well. You played.
Yeah, there's a lot of like indie titles and smaller games on there that you can play. You get your money's worth.
I've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky because there's always like really big updates in No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. In my circles, everybody I know has it because it's just worth it. Even if you're like even if you're not playing games, it's still worth it, Like, okay, here's the thing for us. Well, for me being on PC, it's $5 a month. If you don't play games that month, you're not going to be like, oh damn, I wasted $5 whole. You're not going to be hating yourself for it. You know what I mean? So it's not that bad. So I don't know. I'm even on a Discord server where the entire purpose of the server is just Game Pass, where like anybody who plays on European servers, which me living in Africa, it's my only choice is to play on European servers. It's anybody on European servers who has Game Pass, and we all just play Game Pass games on there. It's really cool. But yeah, I feel like it's more popular now than ever before, Game Pass.
Yeah. So, it was just funny. All right, another funny thing too. The top 10 most played games this year are mostly old favorites. So this is like, so Elden Ring is not on this list. Now this, I believe, was only from January 1st to, let me see, when was, I want to say end of March. Yeah, end of March. So obviously Elden Ring had only been out for 1 month, but it did not make the top 10 list of games that most played games. So obviously
this must be based off of Steam or I don't know what it's based off of.
No, it says console and PC
I guess
games.
it's console included. Because here's the thing that I don't play this game, but what baffles me is that it's not on the list, which is Roblox. Because I feel like Roblox should be on the list. Like people play Roblox the same amount that they play Minecraft, like kids.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of like kids that play Roblox, like a lot.
But I mean, look at these games: Minecraft,
Yeah,
Grand Theft
I expect
Auto.
Minecraft to be
Okay,
Minecraft's gonna be
up there forever.
Minecraft's gonna be up there forever, dude. It just is. It's like Lego. It's the Lego of gaming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
It's
it's
just
the
always gonna
it's
be
the
there.
oldest game on this list. Then you have Grand Theft Auto
Yeah.
5, The Sims
But
4,
yeah,
Fortnite,
GTA 5
of course.
GTA 5 makes sense to me because of
The online.
RP.
Yeah.
Like right now, like it's on Twitch as well. It's so big. Like everybody who plays GTA Online plays on role-playing servers
Mhm.
using, I think it's called 5M, or like, yeah, I think it's called 5M. It's like this other third-party mod
Mhm.
that you use to roleplay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fortnite, we knew was gonna be up there. I'd say The Sims 4 surprises me the most, but it also doesn't, because
It's a
people who
casual
don't
game.
I was gonna say it's for people who don't game, and then it's for anybody, really.
Yeah. Among Us, Animal Crossing, 2 Call of Duty games, Call of Duty Warzone and Vanguard are up there. NFL 22, Madden NFL 22, NBA 2K 22. So
no FIFA. That's surprising.
yeah. So
All things considered, yeah.
yeah. I mean, remember this is U.S.
Yeah.
This is U.S. This is not the world.
True. And I guess Vanguard sold way better than I thought. Holy crap!
All those Call of Duty sell, even when they're not even well received, they still sell. There's people that have like an automatic just buy, right? Like if there's a Call of Duty, buy. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's just funny that old games.
Oh yeah, Elden Ring was 20th, but like you said, it was only out for like a month or at the time, yeah.
So the last thing I have on my list, Top Gun Maverick just came out last weekend. I saw it. It was a blast.
And I was gonna say, is it good?
Yeah. But see it in the theater and see it with something with a big screen and big sound, because the sound, like when they do the flight sequences, like it's just like shaking. It's awesome.
Oh, that's cool. Okay,
there's a big difference of watching this like on your cell phone or iPad than it is like watching it. This is definitely a theater type of. And how this relates to gaming is basically a Microsoft Flight Simulator. And it's a free expansion. They released the Top Gun Maverick expansion, where you get to kind of do some training missions, and there's like a top secret plane that's from the movie that's in there. So that
I might be installing it just to try it out.
So definitely is Top Gun Maverick out in South Africa?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's out in theaters here.
Yeah, watch it.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely like. I had hopes that it would be good. I was just worried that it might not live up to the original, which is usually the case with sequels that come out like decades later.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's good. All right. Well, I got a bit of some smaller news here.
Cool.
Which is V Rising, which is a game I recommend. It's
Yeah,
been blowing up on Steam lately. Just hit 1.5
It's early
million
access,
sales.
right? It's early access.
It's early access. It's probably going to be early access for a very long time. It's Vampire Valheim. That's the best way to put it. It's essentially Valheim, but with vampires. I think it's limited to 8 people per map/server. I could be wrong. So it's what we're learning though is from like V Rising and Valhalla doing good is we're learning that these like smaller scale like online multiplayer games are working better. You know what I mean? Where it's like instead of having a big online survival game with like 100 people on the map, just have 8 people. You know, where everybody knows everybody, and it's like smaller communities but bigger pools. I think that's quite good. You know, like we're seeing more like 16 player type games and things like that. I think that's quite cool. But yeah, I played V Rising. I enjoyed it. It's isometric, but you can turn your camera, but it's top down. Essentially, it kind of has like a Diablo type of feel to it, but very like survival based mechanics. So yeah,
it's PC only right now, right?
I believe so, but I can easily see it being ported to console soon. There's not like an overly large amount of controls. You could probably port it to a controller pretty easily, or figure out a way to do it. I've been enjoying the game. Yeah, it's one of those things where once again the developers surprised. Say with the people that made Valheim, they weren't expecting it to be like. Well, I think now it's on like 20 million copies, which is insane.
That is insane.
It was a 4-people team.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
God.
Well, I mean, now they've expanded now, but it
Of
was
course.
essentially, I think, a 4 or 6 people team. Like they hit their first 2 million when it was just four developers, I think, which is insane. So this game's doing strong as well. The developers also super shook that it's doing this well. So they got big plans for the future.
Yeah, it's got very
Um,
positive on Steam, 23,000.
Mm-hmm. I recommend it. It's pretty decent. What's the price over there? Because we got
20
regional
bucks.
pricing here.
20 bucks.
Oh, what, really? I would have thought it would have been less than that. Because over here it costs about $9 roughly.
Yeah, I
Or
mean,
$8 or
to me, like,
$9,
if
yeah.
this was 10, it'd be like a no-brainer. But
I mean,
20
for
is
me
not
it was
bad.
essentially, yeah. For me it was just under $10, so it was a no-brainer for me. I had a lot of fun with it.
I'll
I was playing
definitely
solo. Which,
is
the
there a
game-
solo
it-
campaign, or is it just
You can, but it seems like there's a heavy not influence. It seems like it wants you to play online multiplayer. Like it's not the first option. Like when you go to play, it's literally like the very last option is to make your own
PvP or
world.
PvE?
PV both. They can be
Okay.
PvP or PvE. I believe. I believe that's up to you on your choice on the server.
Okay.
It seems like it's more of an emphasis on PvE though. I think.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I'm kind of
Actually, I don't even know if
I'm
it-
more
I
into
don't know if it
PvE
yeah.
than PvP.
I don't know if it has PvP. I could be like it seems like the kind of game that would have PvP, but every time I've seen gameplay over it, like I said, I played solo, but whenever I see gameplay online, it's usually people doing PvE, playing together, going to fight like the bosses and stuff, learning new vampire skills and things like that. Pretty cool.
Gonna check that out. Yeah, everyone's
And
been
then,
talking about it. I just haven't had time. Like I said, I'll wait till
Yeah.
I finish Guardians. Also have
It's one of those things where I hope. Well, I mean, it's probably I don't know if it'd be good for the developer, but like it would hit so hard on Game Pass. If VR Rising was on Game Pass, it would hit so hard. Like people would those numbers would be much higher. I guess the same could be said of Valheim. And then I know we don't cover a lot of Nintendo news, so it's worth mentioning that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is coming out November of this year. Now I know we did have a Pokemon come out, a Pokemon game, a big Pokemon game come out, Arceus, as well as I believe Shining Pearl and Diamond, which were remasters, remakes, no remasters, yeah, remasters of older games. So we have had a lot of Pokemon games recently, earlier this year, but this is like the next actual installment of Pokemon games since I think the one that launched on the launch of the Switch, which was a couple years ago. It's been a while. People are excited for it because the characters look super cute, and they do. I love playing Pokemon because the characters always look adorable. They used to look edgy, but now they just look super cute. The thing that I'm most surprised by or interested in is that it's going to have 4-player co-op, which I'm not too sure how that works. Like I've seen co-op Pokemon battles before where it's like you and a buddy fighting another people. So I've seen like 2v2s. But yeah, 4-player co-op. I'm wondering how they're gonna add that into the game itself. So yeah, I'm probably gonna pick that up when it comes out because it's always man. I tell you, Nintendo games are very expensive in my country, because there's no regional pricing.
Yeah,
like
that's Nintendo for you,
dude. But like here's the thing. It's literally like you could buy, for instance, right now, God of War on PC. How much does God of War cost on Steam right now?
on Steam. Let me take a look. Hold on.
America.
Let me take a look.
I'm curious because over here it's regional pricing and with
$50.
regional price.
$50.
Yeah. Okay. Over here it's about 600 rand, which is like I want to say $30, maybe like $25 or $30, which is a lot, actually really little. But okay, $50. That's a bad example. Okay, how much does Cyberpunk cost?
Let me take a look. I mean, at this point, it's probably much better pricing. Never mind. It's $60.
Let's say $60. Yeah, okay, so
Jeez,
it's $60.
how is it still $60?
So over here, most $60 games cost about 800 rand here. My Nintendo games cost like I think 1,000. They go. It's 1,000 and something. So it's like a 20% increase or something. How insane is that? It's like I'm essentially paying. If it's supposed to be $60, I'm essentially paying like $80 or $90 for a Nintendo game, full price. It's insane. So I try not to buy Nintendo games, but if I do, it'll be like 1 or 2 a year. So I'm gonna get this one. seeing as Breath of the
Yeah.
Wild 2 isn't coming out anytime soon.
How did Cyberpunk? How's it still $60? It's like a year and a half
I don't know.
old.
It's always on sale though. Like it's always.
That's true. Like I remember
Yeah,
seeing
I
it like
always
for
see it on
like
sale.
$30 or something like that. I remember seeing it
Yeah,
for like 30
I
bucks.
see it 50% off a lot of the time, especially when there's like a big update. I
Mhm.
think we didn't cover it. Maybe we'll cover it more in the future, but seems like there is going to be a big update or expansion coming to Cyberpunk soon. There have been some leaks,
Mhm.
but I'm sure they'll make an announcement about it soon. But yeah, so Pokemon Scarlet and Violet coming out this November. It's going to have 4-player co-op. Not too sure how that works. I'm going to pick up the game anyways because it's good, like casual strategic fun. And that's all the news I've got.
Cool. Yeah, let's talk about just what we've been playing. Like I mentioned, I'm playing Guardians of the Galaxy. I think I'm on chapter 3. I think there's like 16 chapters. So I'm still like a good ways away from the finish.
I will say, without giving spoilers away,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is a spoiler or not because I played quite a lot of. So it kind of spoiled the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie for me. Well, it didn't spoil it, but it like because I know very little about Guardians of the Galaxy in terms of the comic books and their lore. Like I know a lot about Marvel, but very little about Guardians of the Galaxy specifically. But yeah, I feel like excuse me, sorry. There's a lot of characters in the game that are going to be in the next movie, and I feel like seeing them in the game gave me a glimpse into their character, and
I
it kind of
see.
spoiled it for me for the movie. Like Adam Warlock is a good example,
I see.
and their dynamic. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't know if you know much about the lore or how it works, or whatever.
It's funny because in terms of comics, I didn't read actually a lot of Guardians of the Galaxy, but I'm very familiar with Adam Warlock, and that's why I was
Yeah.
surprised when he did not appear because he plays a huge role in the whole Infinity Gauntlet stuff. And so when they
Yeah.
had Thanos and all that stuff, like he never appeared. Like remember they teased him at the end of.
Yeah, they did. Well, they're gonna. He's
second-
gonna be in the next movie.
Yeah, the second
He's
Guardian.
gonna be
So
in
I
the third. He's gonna be in the third movie. They got the I forget what his name is. Blanking on him right now, but he was the Meet the Miller's kid. Well, I guess he's not a
Yeah.
kid anymore. He's older now. Anyways, they got him. But yeah, like in the game, there's like. Anyways, I don't want to spoil it, but anyways, what happens in the game leads me to believe that something similar is gonna happen in the next movie, and it's also why he wasn't at the Infinity War or whatever. I think his reason for not being involved in the Infinity War is the same reason as to, and you'll find out later when you get to the game, the reason why he's doing what he's doing in the game. Also, like just right off the bat, because I know very little about Adam Warlock. I thought he was a bad guy or an enemy. You know?
No. He was.
Yeah, like like I said, I had no idea. So I had that assumption. So when I played the game, I was like, oh, I would have been like to have seen that in the movie and be like, oh wow, he's a nice guy, you know? With a name like Adam Warlock, I was expecting, like without any context, like I said, with zero context as to what the person looks like, I thought it was gonna be like an actual like evil looking old warlock dude, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways, I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 14 online. Been binging that as an MMO. I don't play them very often, but like once a year I'll like put a month or two into the game. I've also been playing a lot of Valorant. I've been ranking up, almost gold ranked, almost gold 1. So that's been good. And then yeah, I finished Elden Ring.
Finally we can do our spoiler review because I finished.
Yeah, I got
couple
the,
weeks
the
ago.
Ranny ending.
I did not. I got a crappy ending, but then again, I heard they're all crappy endings. So
They're all kind of like crappy, you know. I want to say crappy, but they're all like
short.
very short, and is like I don't know how to. I wouldn't say disappointed, but like the feeling I felt when I completed the game was like I was sad that it was over, even though there's New Game Plus mode. I was just sad that it was over, and I kind of wanted more, man. It's like I wanted Miyazaki to show up at my house with a little statue, being like, "Congratulations, you won!" You know, like I wanted more, man. I don't know how to explain it. Like I felt so hollow after I beat the game.
For me, it was the game is so epic that why is the ending so like
right? Yeah, it was like a bit anticlimactic.
yeah.
Also, I'll be honest. I had no idea what the hell was going on. story-wise. Like I know that there was a lot of lore, and there's a lot of lore if you look correctly in the items and all that stuff and the story. And like I had the general idea of what the story was going on, but when the ending happened, I was like, "What the hell are they talking about? What's going on? I don't know. Just let me hit things with a stick again, you know?" Those are simpler times. But yeah, finished the game. Felt hollow, which is kind of sad. I haven't played it since. I've messed around with a bit of faith builds, and there's a lot of really interesting faith weapons, which I never got to try out, which have been quite fun.
Yeah, still amazing
yeah.
game, but yeah, just I just wish that the ending was a little more
And then I think
impactful.
other than that, I've been like hopping between God of War and what was it? It was another game that I just installed recently again. Anyways, but I've been playing God of War again because I have it on PC, and it purrs on our graphics card.
Nice.
It looks fantastic. I'm playing it on like 2K quality, you know, like or 3K quality technically, upscaled, unlimited FPS. It looks better. Look, obviously it's like so much better than what it looked like on the PS4. But yeah, so I've been enjoying playing that quite a lot as well, and some No Man's Sky in my spare time.
Yeah, Guardians looks good on our graphics card, but it takes forever to load, like forever. Like it's just.
Are you playing with ray tracing on or off?
I don't know. I did the mid level because they recommended low, and I was like, no, my graphics card can do better than this.
I did mid. I put ray tracing off, and then I just upped the.
I'm pretty sure ray tracing is off because it's only mid.
Yeah, I put ray tracing off, and then I just simply upped the texture quality and the resolution instead. And then also like with ray tracing off, I feel like the game loaded a bit faster for me, but only slightly.
Yeah. All right, guys. I guess that's it for this episode. Thanks for joining us. You can check us out on youtube.com/Revog, or our weekly podcast, which is on Spotify and Anchor.fm. You can find me on Twitter at ThinkHero or Instagram, Dennis.tzng. Josh, where can people find you?
You guys can find me on the Revog Discord channel if you ever want to talk about games. And you guys can find me on Twitch at It's Thespis, all lowercase, one word.
Cool. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.
Later.